Okay, I think I'm live now. I just waiting for the ad to stop here so I can make sure. But yeah, let me know if you can hear me in the chat room. Ordinarily, I'd click out of the ads, but it's on my channel, so I feel obliged to let them play. Yeah. Okay, cool. You guys can hear me. All right. Welcome back. We are talking about Daredevil Born Again Season 2, Episodes 2 and 3 tonight. I don't know if we'll continue doing these on Sunday, but with the release schedule, I don't know, it kind of works out. I'd like to be able to do them earlier in the week. Sometimes it's just not possible. Because I think on Wednesday I saw Super Mario Galaxy, and then I've been working on that video for a minute. And I got that done yesterday. So this was literally the earliest I could do it. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. Once again, if you're new here, the way this works is I will talk about the episodes, and then we'll do super chats at the end. And then once this stream ends, it'll be set to private and then uploaded on the live streaming channel in the next day or two. The link to that is right down there in the description box. Or you can YouTube Thorias Unlimited live streams. It should be the first one that comes up. All right, let's just get right into it because we got 2 episodes to talk about tonight. And I'm just wondering if I hit focus on that. Okay. Yeah. So, get your super chats in if you're so inclined. Anyone who does, you'll get priority when we start doing those. So let me just put the chat room over here. Okay. So, yeah, excuse me if I'm a little out of sorts here. I didn't have a lot of time to get ready for this. Didn't even have a chance to watch these episodes until last night, so bit of a rush on this one. So we'll see how this goes. Episode 2 begins with Cherry getting taken to the hospital. He had a heart attack, but it looks like he's okay. That's good. Things could have gone a lot worse. So Cherry and Matt were lucky that Bullseye showed up to save them. And Matt's going to have to chew on that for a little bit. Still not sure what's going on there, Poindexter. Bullseye, meanwhile, is at a church looking for absolution of all things. He asks for Sister Maggie specifically, that's Matt's mom. Thankfully, she's out of the country right now. I have no idea where this is going. Is Bullseye turning over a new leaf? Changing his ways? Doubtful. But the idea that him and Matt suddenly find themselves on the same side is so bonkers. I don't know where they go with this, but I can't wait to find out. It's probably the most, like the juiciest story they've got at the moment. If Bullseye has the same enemies that Matt does, he could be useful to a point, but the man's so unstable that before long he's going to lose his shit again. So you could have Matt and Bullseye versus Kingpin, or you could have Matt and Kingpin versus Bullseye, or everyone versus everyone, or you could switch back and forth. You could do all of the above. There's so many different ways this can go, and I fucking love it. And as Matt and Karen point out, it's already causing problems. Because Bullseye killing the task force pisses off Kingpin, but he can just blame that on Daredevil and use it to turn up the heat on Matt. So this is getting very complicated very quickly. And, Buck suggests to Mayor Fisk that he'd have more control of this vigilante situation if he revealed to the public that Matt Murdock and Daredevil are the same person, but Kingpin feels a little differently. Because Daredevil's an easy scapegoat, but the blind lawyer who saved the mayor's life, that's tougher. So instead, Kingpin goes on TV and tells New York that he believes Matt survived the attack on his apartment in the season 1 finale, And that's important because Matt Murdock is a fucking hero who took a bullet to save the mayor's life. And now he's being targeted by all these like dastardly evil vigilantes. So all New Yorkers need to come together and help us find this hero, Mr. Murdock, so we can keep him safe, damn it. This is brilliant. I love this. Stuff like this is what makes Kingpin such a great villain. Like real 4D chess psychological warfare right here. The whole city's looking for Daredevil and Matt now. Daredevil because Fisk has made him public enemy #1, and Matt because they think he needs help. And it's kind of funny because when Matt finds out about this, he actually looks impressed. Like, in a weird way, you have to respect a character who can outwit you just as much as you can outwit him. Like, even if he's your mortal enemy. It's like, it's fucked up, but it's like, hey, man, props. You really thought circles around me on that one. Oh, man. So 2 task force goons go to the hospital to pick up Cherry, or to finish him off, more likely. But he's got a whole bunch of honest cop friends there to watch his back, so they can't do it right now. Then Bullseye kills both of them in the elevator. I don't know how he keeps showing up exactly where he needs to be at the exact right time, but it is very fun watching him kill people I don't like. I doubt that'll last very long before he starts trying to bump off characters in the main cast again, but right now, I'm really liking this. Then when some other task force assholes show up, Cherry's gone. Like, they moved him out of there. Thank you. It's always nice when our good guys are not acting like idiots. Sadly, that's something that happens less and less often in Hollywood these days. So Kingpin has a little chat with Gandolfini Jr., Daniel, about that Kingpin cosplayer in those underground videos who's been mocking Kingpin and telling uncomfortable truths about his operation. And Daniel had been... He'd been avoiding telling Fisk about this, kind of keeping it from him to avoid, I guess... agitating a man who is best left unagitated, shall we say. So Fisk, not so subtly, leaves the file of that police commissioner he killed on his desk for Daniel to see. And it's like, hey, remember that guy? Remember what I did to him? I mean, really tragic that it had to go down like that, right? Yeah, I'd really hate for that to happen again. So, find the bastard in those videos right effing now. And this puts Daniel in a really tight spot because he is trying to protect Fisk, and he really doesn't want to die, but at the same time, the list of people who would be able to access the info in those videos is pretty small. And he's pretty sure it's BB who's behind this. And it is. Not really surprising. I mean, you could tell from this person's body type they were probably a woman. So what to do? Because Daniel and BB are friends. In spite of their other differences. I mean, they do... they are actually friends. They like each other, like, personally. Not in a romantic sense, I guess, but I mean, they hang out together, they know each other, and so either Daniel is going to have to go down a dark road here, or help his friend and do the right thing, which will probably get him killed even faster. I don't know what he's going to do, and I like that. Like, he's definitely very conflicted about this. That just makes for good television. Vanessa asks Kingpin why he's risking so much for this Northern Star situation. That's the ship in the East River with the weapons on it. It seems like he's using this as a stepping stone to expand his operation. Maybe going global? I mean, they did tease that. And if that's where this is going, I say, hell yeah, do it. Like, I've said for a long time that Kingpin is the best villain the MCU has, period. So if they were thinking about expanding his role, like potentially turning him into some kind of Norman Osborn type of figure, that sounds really cool to me. You know, for a while in the comics some years ago, Norman Osborn was promoted from Spider-Man villain to basically the top big bad in all the comics. He was basically running the government for a while. Now, they wouldn't be able to do that with, like, MCU Norman Osborn, because I think Sony has the rights to that character. You'd have to go through them. You know, it's really just not worth the hassle there. But if they could elevate Kingpin to that status and do something similar with him, I don't know if that's where this is going. Matt will probably stop him before it comes to that, but it's a pretty compelling idea. Okay, then we check in with Angela Del Toro, White Tiger's niece, I think. Was she his niece or his daughter? I forget. But, you know, she's back. And, you know, she's out, you know, with her aunt. And they go into some convenience store. And honestly, this scene was kind of dumb. They notice some teenagers shoplifting, and the aunt tries to get them to knock it off. Then the guy at the counter pulls out a shotgun, and the aunt is like, "Hey man, calm down. Don't point a gun at the punks who are trying to rob you." So what? He should just let them steal from him then? Like, what the fuck, lady? Like, would I pull a gun on someone trying to steal from my business? You bet your ass I would. Okay, then a task force guy comes in. He takes down the man with the gun. He tries to arrest these shoplifters. And the aunt tries to stop him. Which is fucking weird, because this was one situation where a task force guy was kind of justified in doing what he was doing. Okay, he de-escalated the situation by removing the gun, and now he's apprehending the punks who were committing the crime. Seriously, where's the problem here? I'm not really seeing one. I mean, so she grabs him by the arm and tries to pull him off this kid, and that's no good, so she gets arrested too. And the guy at the counter, even though he was just trying to protect his business, I mean, he could argue self-defense. That was going too far, but still, it felt like they were trying way too hard to vilify the task force here with the aunt. Because she did put her hands on the officer. Like, barely, yes, it's bullshit, but she may have technically committed an arrestable offense in the eyes of the law. Like, you can arrest someone for doing less than that. And I just noticed this, I got this notice popping up on my phone, seeing it out of the corner of my eye, and it's really annoying me. Go away. Thank you. So yeah, like, she may have done something you could legally arrest somebody for. So... Like there's enough legal gray area here that the task force guy really doesn't look as bad as the writers want him to. And that's when this starts to feel like just like manipulative. And I don't know, it's I don't know, you lose authenticity at that point. That's not what you want. Nevertheless, the aunt gets arrested and the guy at the counter, and Angela's pissed off. She goes to the law firm where Kirsten's working late. She's scared because the task force tends to just disappear these people, and there's not much they can do about it. But then, oh look, there's a box left over from the White Tiger case in Season 1 with a bunch of White Tiger's belongings in it, including the magic amulet that gave him his powers. No one in the family wanted that stuff. So they've just been keeping it. Like, really? Nobody wanted the magic amulet that gives you superpowers? I call bullshit on that, but... You know, Angela's his relative, so she could take it. should be a fairly easy process. And she might not even have to sign anything for that. So, I mean, we kind of figured in season 1 that this was going to happen. I like Angela, so I'm fine with it, but someone as small as her overpowering these big burly task force thugs does have the potential to look unintentionally funny. And we're going to see an example of that in a few minutes, so I hope they're careful about this. Just be careful, be smart about it. That's all I'm saying. Therapist lady speaks at a dinner hosted by Vanessa, talking about how we try to heal from all these awful things these vigilantes are doing to us as a society. Strange, because her whole storyline is about how she's mentally unraveling after a vigilante saved her life. Hope the irony's not lost on her. And, Vanessa can relate because she's literally in Bullseye's sights right now during this conversation. Bullseye, the man she herself got released from the asylum and now has it out for her. Possibly because of the manipulation, or possibly because she released him from the asylum. We don't know. And she's only handling things marginally better. She's having nightmares and PTSD. She's cooler about it than Therapist Lady, but she's still wound pretty tight. So these two actually have a few things in common. And I'm still not a huge fan of Therapist Lady, but if you attach her to Vanessa, who is far more interesting, that definitely makes her more interesting by default. Speaking of Vanessa, there's a really nice scene here with her. The writers love to draw parallels between Matt and Fisk, and how they kind of mirror each other in a lot of ways. You know, they did that a lot in season 1. They do it during fight scenes or like big emotional scenes showing how they're kind of going through similar things. And here they do that with Vanessa and Karen. Yeah, we see Matt and Karen talking, and we see the Fisks together, and they're cutting back and forth. And Vanessa and Karen are both kind of thinking happy thoughts about what it would be like to have a nice, normal, peaceful life if only the real world wasn't, you know, insane, with all these various people trying to kill them all the time. Whereas Matt and Kingpin are more comfortable with the way things are, I guess. These parallels are always a lot of fun. The Matt Fisk ones are always great, so if they want to do it with the women too, and it makes sense, you know, go for it. I love stuff like that. This gets interrupted, though, when the task force show up at Josie's place. Best guess is they followed Cherry's cop friends who were there earlier to pass along a message that he was okay. So Matt suits up. He's taken out all these assholes by himself. Never ever gets old, by the way. Meanwhile, Karen runs into one of these goons in an alley, and she actually takes him out. And Destiny Horizons, I see your super chat. Thank you very much. She'll be first in line when we get done with the review. Yeah, so Karen actually takes this guy out. And I've seen some pushback on this. A few people were calling bullshit on it. I'm actually okay with this. Sort of. Because it's not like she destroyed a man twice her size. She didn't. I mean, this dude was barely bigger than Karen is. And she caught him off guard. He wasn't expecting her to go at him like that. Also, Karen's been training with friggin' Daredevil. If there's one person who could teach Karen how to beat a guy up, it's probably him. Okay, we've seen her training. We saw that in the first episode. Excuse me. You know, she was working on the thing, and they were doing like the punching and the blocking and stuff, and you know, Matt complimented her on her form and said she was doing well, and you know, so she's been working on this for a while. And, you know, supposedly it has been, you know, a number of months since the season 1 finale, so she's had time to get good at it. I mean, this isn't like 5'0", completely untrained Kamala Khan taking out hardened Kree soldiers with a fucking ribbon in the Marvels, okay? It was one guy who didn't even look that tough. And we find out in the next episode that he didn't even want to fight. He was actually on her side. So I don't think it was that ridiculous. The problem was the way it was shot just didn't look very convincing. Okay, on paper, you can make an argument for it. But they needed a different camera angle because the one they used, it wasn't great. Or maybe Karen beats him in a different way. Like, beats him by some way other than just punching him. Like maybe she gets him in a sleeper hold or something. I don't know. But the execution wasn't the best. Okay, on paper, you can justify it. I don't think in practice it didn't look right. But Matt and Karen meet up later, and she's taken this guy hostage now. And when episode 3 begins, Matt isn't comfortable with this. He has reservations, but this man has information they need. And, they're starting to salvage the weapons off the boat in the East River. And if those things get into Red Hook, they're gone. So Matt's not really spoiled for options. So they do a little good cop, bad cop here. Matt plays the bad cop, which is kind of funny. Turns out this guy is sympathetic to them because, surprise, surprise, the task force are a bunch of psychos. And he's got an ID card for them that'll, get them into Red Hook. So they're not painting the whole task force with the same brush, which is definitely a good thing. But they did let this guy go afterward, and wouldn't the task force change the locks so the card wouldn't work at that point? I don't know, maybe he didn't tell them. Or maybe since they changed the passcode every night, that doesn't matter. Matt breaks in there later, and there's no passcode necessary, so I don't know what's going on, but bottom line, they can get in now. They can get past the security door anyway. Therapist lady, Heather. Her name is Heather. There's a lot of characters. Their names are hard to remember. I'm sorry. Her PTSD is getting worse. And she kept Muse's mask for some reason. I'm not sure what she's doing there. It's like she has like a PTSD attack, and then she takes out the mask and stares at it. It's like 1, 2, 3. Okay, this is not. Okay, this does not control me or whatever. And like one would think that someone well educated in psychology and advises people therapeutically for a living would maybe understand that she needs some help. Maybe talk to somebody, Heather, somebody in your field. Ideally somebody outside of the mayor's office, which by the way includes Buck Cashman, who Vanessa is not so subtly trying to cozy Heather up to for reasons unknown. Just saying, it doesn't seem like her situation is improving here. By the way, in one scene, she had more chemistry with Buck Cashman than she had with Matt in all of season 1. It's kind of funny. So Kirsten even calls her out on this when they're getting ready for court. Your psych evaluation on Swordsman was a hatchet job. What's going on with you? Heather's morals have definitely gone out the window. Because the Muse thing messed her up so much, and now she just thinks that all vigilantes need to get railroaded for the good of the city, regardless of the legalities of that. She's just in a really bad place, but you understand, and the actress is doing a good job with this so far. Kirsten has to wear blackout goggles when she's taken to talk to the swordsman at this clearly illegal detention facility. And, she learns what it's really all about. Swordsman refused to invest in Kingpin's Red Hook project, so now Kingpin's just going to send him up the river and seize his assets anyway. So it's not really about the vigilante thing in this case. Fisk is just targeting his political his political enemies. And once again, if you've been paying attention to what's been happening in the country lately, that will sound very familiar. Mileage will vary when they're taking so many cues from real life events. But I think this part works a lot better than the scene at the convenience store did. Also, I'm starting to like Swordsman. I am. I could take or leave that character in the Hawkeye show. But they've tweaked him. I think he definitely plays better here. And they've made him pretty cool. He's somehow kept his composure through all of this, which makes him seem like he's not somebody you should fuck with. And that gets reinforced later on. The actor's good, too. Doing a good job. Back to Matt and Karen. Karen's getting really frustrated with their situation because nothing they do seems to work. Nothing makes a dent in Fisk. So, like, she's wondering, like, maybe they should, like, take a page out of Frank Castle's book. Because, love him or hate him, the guy does get results. But Matt thinks Foggy wouldn't want that, and he still wants to try to do things the right way, because they still have a system. It's not entirely broken. I don't know. It seems pretty broken depending on, based on what happens a little bit later. Again, I'm more on Karen's side here. I admire Matt's morality. Him wanting to do things the right way is what makes him a hero. But it just seems more and more unrealistic, I guess, the deeper they get into this. And I do think Matt will be proven right ultimately, but damned if I can see how right now. And there's likely going to be a very steep price for doing things the right way. Buck talks to Daniel, turning up the pressure for him to find that Kingpin cosplayer in the videos ASAP and then turn him over to Buck, so Buck can do what Buck does. And Daniel's starting to sweat bullets over this. If he doesn't know for a fact that it's BB, he is at least pretty sure. So he doesn't have much time either to either save his own skin, rat out his friend, or find a patsy to pin this shit on. I'm leaning toward the patsy thing right now. But yeah, we'll see. There's a couple different ways this can go. And I think with this storyline, they finally got me interested in Daniel as a character. Didn't really care about him in the first season. Now I care about what he does next. It took a minute, but they got me. So, good job with that. He's in a pretty interesting position right now. They go to Swordsman's trial, which the DA's office got moved up by weeks, so Kirsten would have no time to prepare, and the judge is being pressured to do the right thing by her contemporaries on either side of her. It's all just a show for the media, and of course Swordsman gets found guilty on everything. But they are broadcasting the trial, so Matt overhears Kirsten say that she talked with Swordsman inside the Red Hook building, and he can use that. So Karen slips Kirsten a message at the bar later on. She goes to her office where Daredevil's waiting for her, and he needs to know everything she saw at Red Hook. But she was wearing those blackout goggles. She didn't see shit. Daredevil's like, yeah, that's not a problem. So we get this, there's this really cool sequence where Matt breaks into Red Hook, and using only the auditory cues that Kirsten remembered hearing in there, like pigeons up in the rafters, or like dripping water, or like wind outside a broken window and stuff, like he navigates his way through that place and gets to like the inner sanctum. That's clever. Like, I love when they find interesting ways to use Matt's powers like this. That's really cool. So he finds the weapons by listening for the watch that he tossed into one of the boxes when he was on the boat in the first episode. But he also finds all the prisoners. And I think you know what Matt's going to do in that case. He goes in to free the prisoners, and this scene was incredible. Incredible. Daredevil marches in there. He frees all the prisoners. The task force goons barge in. Daredevil and Swordsman start fighting them. People are running all over the place. The camera's going nuts, panning from Matt to Swordsman to the task force to the prisoners. There's Matt fighting over here, Swordsman fighting over here. So many moving parts to this. The sequence is nearly 3 minutes long. It might be one of the most complex ones they've ever done. All done in one take. One take. Now there may have been a couple points where they could have put a cut in there if they needed to, but it looked seamless. Like, even if you're not watching the show, I encourage you to check out this sequence just because it was so fucking... It's just so impressive what they did here. Just in terms of production, this was fucking spectacular stuff. I couldn't believe what they did here. Karen's waiting outside. And Angela shows up wearing the White Tiger amulet. So she is now empowered by that thing. Apparently, she took out some task force goons off camera. That's bullshit. Eventually, they're going to have to let the White Tiger do something on camera. Because that... I can't believe that seriously hasn't happened yet. It's so weird. But she took these guys out and snagged their comms so Karen can communicate with Matt through these things. So Matt gets the prisoners outside. Karen and Angela commandeer an armored car. There's a big firefight. Matt takes out a bunch of these goons, but Karen's watching his back. She actually nails one of them with her pistol that he missed. Like, she drops down, fires from under the car, takes this guy out. Hold on to that one, Matthew. She's a keeper. So they escape. You know, the task force can't pursue them because Angela slashed all their tires. I like Angela. She's very resourceful. But all the weapons are still accounted for because Matt had to get the people out. He had to leave the weapons behind. So Kingpin still got what he wanted. And he gives the order to eliminate those pesky loose ends, which means blow up the boat, kill the night crew that unloaded the weapons, and then presumably blame Daredevil for the whole thing. Holy shit. Those last 10 to 12 minutes were dynamite. There were a couple things in these 2 episodes that I was a little bit iffy on. The task force stuff is very heavy-handed. Anything inspired by recent political events is not exactly subtle. And the White Tiger thing bugs me. Like, the first time Angela puts on the amulet and uses it, like, we don't even get to see it? Really? Really? I mean, they did the same thing with the last White Tiger. Like, the only time we saw him using his powers was in, like, security camera footage. And then he just gets shot in the head? He doesn't get to do anything? And then the first time Angela does something, we don't see it. I don't know why they're doing it this way. That's so weird. But that ending was so damn good, I'd stopped caring about all that stuff when it was over. Seriously, just go watch the ending of episode 3. Like, the last 15 minutes. Unbelievable stuff. They're really ratcheting up the tension here, and we're only 3 episodes in. There's 5 more to go this season. I don't know how the hell they maintain this. But I think the pacing issues of season 1 are very much dealt with now. Like, that's not an issue anymore. Like, this time in season 1, like, hardly anything had even happened yet. Like, after the first 20 minutes of the first episode, it slowed down and just not a whole lot was happening. It was still interesting, but we had to wait for a while. Now it's been balls to the wall. I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. Let's go. Okay, Destiny Horizons, I'm sorry for the wait. Hi, Thorias. Hello. I'm an indie comic writer. Do you do sponsorships as shoutouts on your channel? Happy Easter. I don't know. It's never happened before. No one's ever inquired. I'm not against it. There's a conversation to be had. If you're looking for a shout out, go check out Destiny Horizons. Apparently, he's an indie comic writer, so go check out his stuff. You can check him out he's the first and only super chat in the chat room right now, so go check out his channel. Yeah, I've never had to consider the sponsorships thing. Maybe I should. First time it's ever come up. All right, let's see. What are you guys thinking about this episode? And I love the one fight take scenes. Oh yeah, yeah. Like they were like super impressive in season 1 of Netflix Daredevil. I remember when that first hallway fight happened and everybody was just losing their minds over it, and they've gotten like progressively more complex. Like I felt like they were trying to top themselves every year, like every new season. Like I think in season 2 of Netflix Daredevil, there was like the stairwell fight sequence, and then in season 3, I think they had that fight in the prison, and they're just I don't know how they keep topping it. Season 1 of Born Again, there was that incredible fight with Bullseye, the first episode. And here, I think this was like the most. This one had the most moving parts they've ever done. Daredevil, Swordsman, the Task Force, the prisoners, they're all painting all over the place. I don't even know how they pulled off that sequence. Unbelievable. Oh yeah, I guess today is Easter Sunday, huh? Kind of forgot. What's my favorite one take fight scene in Daredevil? Oh man, I don't know if I could choose. Um, I guess just like from an emotional standpoint, I think the one with Bullseye, uh, season 1 of Born Again, probably. I think that was the most impactful. Yeah, absolutely. Probably the hardest one to watch just because of what happened. I guess I'd go with that one, or maybe the original hallway fight, just because that one was just had everybody so gobsmacked. Not fair to ask what I think of the episodes. I never watch them until after I see your review. I don't care about spoilers. I just want to watch a good story to watch. Oh, thank you. It's it's very flattering. I'm just backtracking a little bit. Glad to be able to make it to another live stream. Yeah, we're trying to trying to give more notice before these things go live. I might end up just continue doing them on Sundays now, since we've done that the last 2 weeks. Really enjoy your reviews. What's the over/under on the new White Tiger trainee taking out a 200-pound guy within the next 2 episodes? Is that a thing that's going to happen? I don't know. I'd have to see it first. I mean, she does have the magical amulet, so she's not. It's not like she's a normal kid doing this. They haven't really explained what that amulet does to the person who wears it. Do they have like enhanced fighting abilities? Do they have super strength? We don't really know. Because if she has super strength, then she could take out a larger man. But I mean, like I said earlier, it's going to look weird if they're not really careful about the way they do it. And I just noticed I'm slightly off center here. Anyway, I'd have to see it first. I mean, we know the amulet enhances the wearer somehow. But yeah, it does have potential to look strange. I'll have to wait and see on that one. Damn it! Sorry, I'm just adjusting the monitor and the mic, because now I'm just cutting off the top of my head here. Is the amulet like the one Vixen has in the DC universe? You know, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. They haven't explained what it does exactly. They need to treat White Tiger better. That's just some weird shit going on there. Just narratively, it's kind of confusing what's going on. And we have another super chat, Stephen Con 8. Stephen Con 8587. Excuse me. Notice for the live streams is key. Thanks. Thank you. Yeah. I think we might just continue doing these on Sunday, unless I'm able to do them earlier. It all depends if there's a movie some weekend I want to cover. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, they need to explain exactly what that amulet does, because we still don't know. I mean, I'm not even sure what it does in the comics version. Here it might be different. I guess it imbues the wearer with some kind of fighting abilities, but does it give enhanced strength? I know I watched a lot of Spider-Man Unlimited. Oy. Oy, oy, oy. Oh, Spider-Man Unlimited. Oh my god. I have a really bad association with that show. Wait, do you mean Ultimate Spider-Man? I don't know. I don't know if we're thinking of the same shows. I don't know. I remember Ultimate Spider-Man is the one they replaced Spectacular Spider-Man with, and Ultimate was so bad. So bad. I don't know, Spider-Man Unlimited might be a different one. Yeah. Okay. All right, if anybody has anything else to say, get your comments in now. Otherwise, we can wrap this up here. Hasn't been that long, but yeah, it's a little bit quiet, I guess. Doesn't give enhanced hearing or sight, otherwise the original would still be around. Yeah, I know, right? You looking forward to Jessica Jones making her big return? Yes, I am. I like Kristen Ritter a lot in the role. Had some mixed feelings about the Jessica Jones Netflix show. I think Kristen Ritter was great casting though. I think the problem with that show is they really didn't have a good follow up to Kilgrave, because he made for a good villain. Afterwards, they didn't really know what to do without him. Really did like Kristen Ritter in the role. Kristen Ritter in that role. I'm really very glad they brought her back. You were the best, dude. Thanks for all you suffer for us. Thanks for watching. Looking forward to seeing Jessica in those jeans and leather coat. Yeah, she's nice to look at, isn't she? Yeah, she's I am also looking forward to the jeans again. Okay. Yeah. Anything else on your guys' minds? I know it hasn't really been that long here, but it's I guess it's kind of a quiet day. I know it is Easter Sunday, so I know you've got other things to do. At least some of you. David Tennant made Kilgrave way more likable than he should have been. Yeah, I guess you could say that. Yeah, and man, they really didn't have much of an idea what to do without Kilgrave there. Man, Man, the villains just got progressively less interesting each season, unfortunately. I guess that's the trick, because I mean, there weren't that many Jessica Jones comics to adapt. And beyond the Kilgrave stuff, they didn't really adapt the comics, so it's. I don't know. There's probably more material for them to adapt if they wanted to like resurrect the show now. That'd be cool. Bringing back Jessica doing like a noir, like True Detective type of thing. That'd be cool. I'd like it if Jessica Jones got another shot. It's kind of like Kingpin, where you can see where he's coming from, but he's undeniably a threat. Yeah, that's what makes Kingpin such a great villain. One of the things, anyway. Honestly, I think there really is something to this idea of making Kingpin more of a, well, like taking his enterprise global. I think there's definitely something worth exploring with turning him into more of a Norman Osborn type. Because then you could, maybe you wouldn't have to deal so much with these characters like Val, who unfortunately was kind of turned into a bit of a joke in the Thunderbolts movie. I mean, no one's going to take her seriously as a threat to anybody now. After you played her like comedically like that, I don't think you can. I'm not sure how you fix her. But if you've got Kingpin in a position like that, I mean that kind of solves a lot of problems that the MCU is dealing with. Yeah, and like I said, he's the best villain they've got. I will fight anyone on that. So it only does make sense to increase his role. If he starts showing up in other things, that doesn't hurt you. I felt disappointed for episodes 2 and 3. I actually enjoyed the first episode. Am I alone? No. I could see where you're coming from. You know, there were a couple things in these 2 episodes that I was iffy on. Like I said, the convenience store stuff. Like overall, the task force thing. They are really hammering that very hard. Like, get it? They're ice. Get it? Get it? Get it? Do we need to, put the letters on the chest just so you're all aware of where we're getting this idea? Yeah, dude, we got it. It's the metaphor is not subtle. You know, I've said this before. Like, I'm okay with using real life stuff as storyline fuel. It just, as long as it makes sense and you don't beat us over the head with it. They are kind of beating us over the head with it a little bit. But it does make sense so far because they set all this up in the first season. I can understand not like. I can understand if it doesn't, if it kind of rubs you the wrong way though. I felt like after the ship exploded, the show wanted me to feel like it was a big deal that the workers died, but I felt almost nothing. Even when Daredevil saved the people, I thought it was cool. And well, you felt almost nothing. All right. Well, one issue was we only got like one scene with those workers. Apparently they were innocent people just doing their jobs, but they were kind of non-entities. Also, the people locked up that Daredevil freed, it was Angela's aunt, who was kind of put away for bullshit reasons in a scene that was kind of stupid. And the guy at the counter with the shotgun, again, kind of stupid. Like, the only one I cared about in that scene was Swordsman. Otherwise, also just a bunch of non-entities. So, I think it would have helped if there were a couple more characters in there that we cared about. So I kind of see where you're coming from. For my money, it worked, though. Okay. Talking about Kilgrave again. Likeable? Kilgrave was the most terrifying villain ever. Yeah, I think what Ghidorah 15 meant was that the actor was just like the actor was charming. The actor has a likability factor to him that like kind of seeped into the character. I think that's what Ghidorah was talking about. But yeah, Kilgrave was a bastard. If the actor has charisma, though, that kind of sometimes that kind of seeps in. We're at the end of the chat room. In case anybody has anything else they want to talk about, we can think about wrapping this up, and you can get back to whatever you're doing on Easter Sunday. Also, sorry I set this thing on Sunday. It totally slipped my mind that it was Easter Sunday. I didn't even realize that until a few hours ago. Ghidorah. That's what I meant. Okay, good. Glad I got that right. Okay, well, you know what? I guess we're done here for the night. We didn't go too long, but hey, it's Easter. Go spend it with your families, or do whatever it is that you do on Easter Sunday. I don't know if we'll continue doing these on Sunday. I guess we'll see. It'll depend on my schedule. So we may not have a set day, but again, I will try to post notices about these in the community tab as early as possible, as soon as I get a time set for them. As usual, once this stream ends, it'll be set to private, and then the actual video will be put up on the live streaming channel either tomorrow or the day after. Excuse me. You can link to the live streaming channel in the description box down below, or just you do a YouTube search, Thorias Unlimited live streams, and it should be the first one that comes up. Thank you to our super chats. For the super chats, we had one from Destiny Horizons and one from Stephen Kahn 8587. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit dyslexic. I don't know if I got that right. I may have gotten the numbers out of order. Yeah, thank you both for the super chats, and thank you to everybody who showed up. I will see you next week when we talk about episode 4 of Daredevil Born Again Season 2. Until then, have a good night. Enjoy Easter Sunday. I will talk to you guys later.